Noise now. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. This Unveiling Tech, and welcome back. I want you guys to watch this video. This video has been this video is also trending. Reason why this one is trending is because Burkina Faso is doing something great, something that Africa is supposed to be doing, something the whole Africa is supposed to be doing, something Nigeria is supposed to be doing, Ghana, the whole Africa is supposed to be doing it, and Burkina Faso is just the one doing it. And this movie, this one now I'm about showing you guys. This one I'm about showing you guys is different from the first one. Yes, the first one is a hit. The first one was a hit. Yes, but this one is different because it's not just the Western world, including China, is shaking it. So right now I'm going to play the video so that you guys watch it with me. Stay tuned.
Stop everything. While you were sleeping, a tiny African nation just triggered a global power shift that has Washington, Moscow, and Beijing scrambling. 4 events, 7 days. Africa just said checkmate to the world-old order. I'm about to show you how a nuclear handshake in Russia connects to $5 million space rocket heist, and why Trump is threatening 10% tariff on half of Africa. There is an all-African saying,
"A child who is not embraced by the village
will bend it down to feel its warmth." For 75 years, Africa has been kept in energy poverty. 600 people without electricity, begging for scraps from Western donors, taking loans with impossible conditions. But this week, Africa stopped begging and started building. In today's
60 years, 60 good years, 60 good years.
This weekly recap, we are breaking down the 4 hottest moves that just rewrote global power. June 19, St. Petersburg, Burkina Faso's energy minister sits across from Russia's nuclear chief. They are not just signing the contract, they are declaring energy independence. Now here's the reality. 3 out of 4 people in Burkina Faso live without reliable electricity in 2025. That's not development, that's control. Think about it for a second. While Silicon Valley celebrates electric cars, most Burkinabés can't even charge a phone at home. For decades, these have been accepted as just how things are. Now, instead of crawling to the World Bank and the IMF with another begging bold, Ibrahim Traoré looked at Moscow in the eye and said, "We will build our own nuclear future." Rosatom's CEO made it clear, "We are ready to provide advanced technologies and expert support." Not loans with conditions, not aid with strings attached. Technology transfer. Now, this isn't just about power plants, it's Burkina Faso specialists learning to build, maintain, and export nuclear energy and expertise throughout the Sahel. Now, if we take a look at the Sahel, we discover that the Sahel is relatively dry with respect to the coastal regions in Ghana, Sierra Leone, and Togo. But the Sahel has something that is a secret that can turn it into a manufacturing hub. It has a lot of uranium. This uranium can be a game changer when it comes to building manufacturing plants. At first, coastal countries exported electricity to the Sahel, but subsequently, the Sahel might export electricity to coastal countries. Mali is watching, Niger is calculating. If this works, French energy colonialism in West Africa is over. For 60 years, France has controlled West African energy through complex arrangements that kept countries dependent. This nuclear deal, it's a direct challenge to the entire system. But Washington wasn't going to let that slide.
This guy's channel I like. This guy goes in depth to make research. He doesn't just give some fugazi stories or something like that. He goes in depth like car. He's giving quality information. That's what I like about this guy's channel. I'm giving him credit because he's worth giving the credit and he's doing a good job. Wherever you are, shout out to you. You are doing a great job. Let's continue the video.
July 7th, Trump drops a bombshell. Any country that aligns with BRICS gets a 10% tariff, no exceptions. Translation: pick us or pay the price. But here's what Trump missed. BRICS just expanded to include 11 full members and 9 partners. That's 54.6% of the world's population. You can't threaten half of the planet and expect them to fall in line. South Africa, Egypt, Ethiopia, already full members. Nigeria just joined as a partner in January. Africa's most populous country. Uganda, Algeria, waiting for full membership. Brazil's Lula put it perfectly: we don't want an emperor. China's foreign ministry called it, using tariffs as a tool to coerce others. South Africa's president talked about appreciating the emergence of various power centers around the world. Instead of backing down, African BRICS participation accelerated. The threat didn't work. It confirms instead why Africa needs alternatives. After Trump's threat of 10%, many African countries immediately became more interested in joining the BRICS. If the US was threatening countries for even considering BRICS, maybe BRICS offered something valuable worth protecting. Why threaten unless BRICS was actually a viable alternative? The threats have also unified the BRICS members more and has further confirmed that Trump still wants to control African foreign policy through economic threats. The strategic miscalculation here of Trump's team is that they assumed African countries will prioritize American markets over sovereignty. But modern-day African leaders increasingly value having multiple options and not being dependent on single power. When you have options, threats lose their power. Now, speaking of power, while this tariff drama unfolded, someone was literally stealing Africa's treasures in broad daylight. A Martian meteorite found in Niger's Agadez region in 2023. Fast forward to July 2025. It sells for $5 million at an auction in Manhattan. And Niger's government, they found out from the news. Illicit international trafficking. And they are absolutely right. But let me put this in perspective for you. Niger is dealing with security challenges, development needs, infrastructure gaps. Meanwhile, a $5 million asset that came from their soil just enriched some anonymous collector in Manhattan. This rock is every African resource story in miniature. Gold, diamonds, oil, rare earth minerals. Something valuable gets discovered in Africa. Somehow it disappears. Ends up making foreigners rich while Africa gets nothing. That's not a coincidence, it's a system. The meteorite sale happened while Niger's people lacked basic services. But here is what is different now. Niger isn't accepting it. They are investigating, they are demanding answers. They are asserting sovereignty over their own treasures. This matches what we are seeing everywhere. Ghana renegotiating mining contracts. The DRC demanding local processing of cobalt and Nigeria reviewing oil agreements. That's the new African mindset. Why don't we control what's ours? And nowhere is this story stronger than in the story everyone completely missed. While the world analyzed the nuclear deal, the real revolution was happening on Burkina Faso streets. Students ditching school holidays to build roads, grandmothers grabbing shovels, women organizing construction teams, army units volunteering after hours. Now listen to what volunteer Mariam Kabor said. "My pay is seeing our children go to school safely. If the president can risk his life for our future, we can at least give our time for the roads." This is what sovereignty looks like. Not begging for it, not waiting for World Bank approval, not hoping donors will fund your development, just saying we will build it ourselves. And it's working. Projects have been completed in Burkina Faso faster than traditional methods. Cost cut dramatically. National unity is skyrocketing. President Traoré calls it Faso Mebo, Burkina First. But this isn't government top-down policy. This is citizen-led transformation. This isn't just feel-good news. It is strategic genius. While signing nuclear deals with Russia for high-tech energy needs, they are mobilizing citizens for immediate infrastructure challenges, external partnerships for what you can't build yet, internal mobilization for what you can build now. That's complete development strategy. Other African countries are watching. Mali is asking questions. Niger is considering similar programs. The playbook is being shared across the Sahel, and that brings us to the big picture. 4 moves, 1 strategy, 7 days that changed everything. Let me connect the dots for you. Move 1. Nuclear deal breaks Western monopoly, gives Africa high-tech partnerships on equal terms. Move 2. Trump's tariff threats backfire, actually accelerating African diversification away from Western dependency, asserts sovereignty over national resources, challenging centuries of extraction. Burkina Faso citizen mobilization proves African solutions work without waiting for outside approval. You see what just happened? Africa didn't choose between East or West. Africa chose Africa. The chess move isn't picking Russia over America. It's developing multiple partnerships while building internal strength. Smart African leaders are saying, we will work with everyone, but we won't be controlled by anyone. That's how you break chains, not by trading one master for another. You remember that saying about child burning a village? Well, Africa just stopped being that child. Africa is building its own village right now, and everyone wants to be a part of the construction. If you are African or diasporan, remember this: we are watching the birth of a fully independent Africa, not dependent on Western aid, not controlled by Eastern influence. For the first time in centuries, Africa is setting its own terms: nuclear energy partnerships, resource sovereignty, citizen-powered development, multiple international alliances without dependence on a single power. If you are watching from anywhere else in the world, pay attention. When Africa controls its energy, resources and development path, global power shifts forever. By 2050, Africa will have the world's largest working age population. If this energy independence strategy works, if this resource sovereignty movement spreads, if this citizen mobilization model gets replicated, we are looking at a completely different world order. That tree I mentioned at the beginning, the roots are getting stronger, and when African roots grow strong, the whole world changes. Now I need to know, which move do you think matters most? Nuclear independence, BRICS expansion, the resource sovereignty, or the people power? Drop your analysis in the comments, but more importantly, share this breakdown with someone. These conversations need to happen in African households, diaspora communities, policy circles, everywhere. The strategic lens don't just report news, we uncover the strategy behind the headlines. Subscribe if you want to understand how Africa is reshaping global power. The chess game isn't over. Africa just learned how to play, and the next game is going to be more interesting. See you in the next video. Bye.
Now, thank you for watching this video, and you've seen the 4 moves they've made. Like I said, this 4 move is crucial: the first, second, third, and fourth. That's why I wanted you to watch this video to the end and see 4 moves they've made, and it's really going to help stabilize the economy. Not for Nigeria though, because Nigeria is swagging, so But for this African moves, at least I don't know. That's all. Goodbye. See you guys later.